Hello again, Stacy here. Now that you know how to create an image, we're ready to bring it to life. In your My Animation screen, let's go back to the heart that we created earlier. I'll hover over the image and we can see the options menu below. I'll select Edit Animation icon in the middle, and this will take us directly to the authoring screen. And we can now see the image in the active frame panel at the top, and the image is also showing up in the animation timeline down below. Now, in order to animate an image, I'll want to add more frames and make each frame a little different than the one before. You can make a simple animation which is 2 frames, or make it as complex as you like using many frames. Let's check out some of the actions we can take in the timeline toolbar. We can add a new frame, import frames from other images, which we'll cover in another tutorial, add a waiting period between frames, add a fade-out transition, and copy and paste frames. There are also some additional options that you'll see on the side of each frame when you hover over it. Here, we can delete a specific frame, duplicate the frame to the right, and mark which frame you want as your keyframe, meaning it will be the frame that shows up in the animation galleries. Okay, so I could add a frame and draw something new, but since I want to make my heart beat, I will just duplicate the frame and make some changes to it. So I will copy my frame to the right, and now I have 2 identical frames. Select the frame that you want to make changes to and be sure it's highlighted, otherwise you might be making changes to the wrong one. Now, to make it look like it's beating, I'm going to adjust the size. And there are a number of different ways to do this. First, I'm going to use my selection tool and draw a square around my image. Now, with the selection tool highlighted, we can see some options for actions that can be taken up at the top here. You can copy and paste a selection, create a fragment, which we'll learn more about in a later tutorial, cut out a selection, and resize, and this is the one we're going to choose. Now, when you choose resize, you'll notice that when I hover over the edges, an arrow will show up. And with my cursor held down, I can drag my selection in or out. Okay, and then to deselect, you can click anywhere outside of the selection within your canvas, or just right-click. All right, now you'll notice the image may need to be touched up just a bit afterwards. So I'm going to select it again. I still have my selection tool highlighted, and just move it to the center just a little bit so I have more room. And deselect. Okay, so I think I need to fix up the outer edges first. And the best way to do that is, if you'll remember, in our media panel, we have our active palette. Our active palette shows us all of the colors that we're currently using in this animation. So first, I'm going to clean up the outer edges with my paintbrush. Okay, and now I will fill in the purple. I think in this frame I will just get rid of the highlighted area and fill in some of the squares here. Okay, and remember, if we're using our paintbrush and we want to erase, you can also just select Set to Transparent. And that way I can still use my paintbrush tool here. And I think I'm going to enlarge it just a little bit more by bringing it down. Okay, great. Now we have a larger heart. So let's take a look and see if it looks like it's beating. Great. Now I think I want to add one more frame just for fun and color in the center. Let's see. So again, I'm going to copy the frame to the right, and I will add a new heart in the center with the yellow. That was my highlight. So again, I'll just use my paintbrush tool. And then I will mirror that on the other side. And okay, so now we have a heart in the middle, and let's just color that in. And we can color that in with a new color. I'm going to go to my color picker, choose a bright orange, and this time with my paint bucket tool, I can color in the entire heart orange. Okay, I think that looks good. Let's preview the animation. If you want to make some adjustments to the animation behavior, you can do this in the animation controls down at the bottom left. The first button controls the frame rate, and that's the speed at which the animation will run. This will determine how many frames will be shown per second. You can adjust this on the slider right here. The more frames per second, the faster your animation will be. The second button determines how many times your animation will loop on the device. Let's set this one to 5. That means it will play all the way through, loop back, and play from the beginning again and again 5 times before it stops. Okay, now that we have our animation, we can choose which frame we want to be our keyframe. So I think I will choose this one that we have all colored in, and I'm going to select, mark this frame as preview key. Okay, there you have it. Now when we save it, this is the frame that shows up in our animation gallery. And when you hover over it, you can see how it will animate. Alrighty, now try creating your own animation and explore the different ways to create cool transitions and customize your animations. Learn more about advanced editing features in our other tutorials and visit us at aka.ms/Expressive Pixels to find out more.